MasterFurniture.com. That's right. It's In the Garden with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin, taking your calls about your flower beds, your gardens, your bushes, your trees, your grass, anything that you can grow in dirt or in water if you do hydroponics. Yeah. Carol Ann is here. Carol Ann, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
I try to cover the whole gamut just in case.
Oh, just in case. Just in case. Yeah, don't want to leave anybody out.
So I was perusing Facebook this morning before I left for work, and I saw that Susan Schmitz had posted a photo.
Yep.
So I went to where she had posted a photo on the In the Garden page, Facebook page. And I said, you sent Carol Ann the picture of our cucumber, because we ended up with a cucumber that looked more like a big zucchini than it did a cucumber.
Yeah.
And you said it's an English cucumber.
Probably one of the English, one of the burpless.
And it came out of a
package of.
No, this is a pre-plant.
Right, that's a package of plant. Right. Yeah, yep.
So we got that cucumber, and I go, well, it's great you posted it. She goes, I just wanted to post it to make sure everybody knew we actually do have a garden.
And those ones are the good. I like those cucumbers because cucumbers have a tendency to make me burp. I'm sure others as well. That's why they've come up with burpless cucumbers. And those are burpless, those long, skinny ones.
Yeah, well, I like the taste of cucumber 30 minutes later.
I was going to say, throughout the day.
I do.
Cucumber's
it's not my favorite. If you told me there was only two kind of things that grew that were vegetable or fruit that I could eat, I only could pick two to eat the rest of my lives, it'd be cucumbers and bananas.
Wow, I don't think I could pick.
It'd be cucumbers and bananas.
Because it's like, I love broccoli, I love cauliflower, I like cucumbers.
The only one that may get in is zucchini. If I could take three, I'd do that. Yeah, but bananas are definitely in, and cucumbers are definitely in.
It was funny. They had grocery store had, the pre-washed spinach on sale the other day. Now it was like salad size bags,
right?
But it said that there was like 3 servings in there.
There's not.
It was like
about a serving and a half.
Almost 2. Yeah. I mean, spinach is not one of those things. Same with broccoli. It's like if you buy it frozen, 3.5 servings. No, 2.
Yeah. Well, that's
I want a bowl of broccoli with a little butter and salt.
You get the little frozen bag of peas. They go 4 servings per bag, and I'm like, who y'all feeding? The Lollipop Guild?
Yeah, children. And actually, that's a good thing if we think of it that way. And the guest you had on before the top of the hour,
the
nutritionist, and she, of planning on things and go. But if you're feeling that, the package says that it's 4 servings of vegetables, and you look at that bag and you're going, no, I could eat that. Then it's kind of go, you got the right choice on that one, and having the small portion of your protein or your carbohydrates.
That's why when I lost all that weight, the way I did is that I ate a small breakfast or shake.
Right.
Then I would eat a half pound to 3/4 pound of green beans. Then I'd eat either a smoothie or a shake or a small lunch. Then about 3:30 in the afternoon, I'd eat another 3/4 pound of green beans.
You're on the green bean diet.
Then I'd eat dinner, or I'd eat cauliflower, a half pound, 3/4 pound, half cauliflower, veggies, broccoli. Yeah. But it was always a half pound to 3/4 pound, because until you see what a half pound to 3/4 pound of green beans or broccoli and cauliflower all look like, you have no idea. If you don't get filled up by eating that much broccoli and cauliflower, you're going to starve to death.
Right. That's a lot of food. That's a lot of food.
It's a lot.
That's a lot.
So
of
I mean,
food.
12 ounces of broccoli and cauliflower.
That's
probably 35 to 40 shoots each.
Yeah.
to make that much.
Right.
You put it in a little Ziploc, you do a little Ziploc bowl thing with the lid barely open, with a little bit of water in there, and you put it in the microwave and steam it. What you talking about? It's good. And you,
little butter, dash of salt.
And literally a half pound of green beans, 60 calories.
Yeah. And that's it. And it does. It fills you. The fiber within there, it fills you. That's the one great thing, with vegetable gardening is that you get to play outside, get the grounding of the soil, and you get veggies.
I thought we were going to have problems with bugs or birds and stuff. I'm amazed that we don't. And I think that I can attribute some of that. I don't know what I can attribute the bugs to.
Right.
But the birds and the squirrels and the rabbits.
Yeah, the dogs.
Well, no, the garden's outside. The garden's in the front, on the front side of the house.
Okay.
The dogs are in the fenced-in backyard area.
Right away from everything.
Bonnie, however, is not. And Bonnie's whole hangout area is around the garden.
There you go.
And so you don't see many lizards in the garden. You don't see any kind
and
of
I would have attributed some of your bugs with having good lizards or toads.
Well, and there are lizards and all, but you don't see many of them because Bonnie likes killing birds. She likes killing mice. She's a good cat. She's a barn cat that Susan turned into an indoor cat.
Right.
Bonnie would rather be out just saying, look, here's half a body, Tom.
Yeah, here you go. I ate the part you wouldn't like. I ate the head. Yeah.
I ate the head. Here's the body.
Yeah, there you go.
So, but you don't think about sometimes how, because we have wild hares and all that run around in the woods and all near us.
Oh, yeah.
And that garden would be prime food for them.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Not with Bonnie.
No.
She's not having it.
And of course, with the dogs being in the back, that also is just the scent of them being around is a deterrent as well. Just that they're not going to come through that fence.
But I expected bugs to be a problem. But I do believe that the entire world's lizard population, the epicenter is in my front yard. I firmly believe that.
Well, that's but with that, you still have to have something to feed them. So there would have to be insects.
Well, I'm sure
but
there is.
I would just go, say all that really quiet because you could go home to a caterpillar infestation or something like that.
You know what we do have a lot of though, and I don't know if they're good or bad. The wall, because it's in an old flower bed. It's in an old shrubbery bed, so it's right next to the house. Mm-hmm. You can look at the wall behind the garden. There's 30 to 45 snails on the wall.
Yeah, they're not good.
I don't know if they're good or bad.
They're not good.
So they're not good for the garden.
They're not good for the garden. They'll eat your garden.
They will?
Yeah.
Because they're lined up on the wall like they're ready. Like
like a race car.
Like they're the Proud Boys fixing to storm the Capitol.
I'd be plucking them off and maybe finding a bird feeder or out in the street.
Go ahead and let some blue jays have some food.
Let them have something, have a snack there.
Yeah, so, and, we got plenty of birds. I saw a crow getting beat up by 2 blue jays this morning.
Oh, yeah, they will do that.
But she put the picture on your Facebook page.
Yes, I saw that.
To prove she had a garden.
Had a garden. And those are, and like I said, I like those kind of cucumbers.
Did you see how high up that trellis that cucumber had run?
That was,
I mean, that's a 6 foot, 7 foot trellis, and it's all the way up. And we put that trellis there a week and a half ago, and it's already all the way up to the top.
Just going at it.
Now, because it's a foot from the roof, there's a chance it could go to the roof, isn't there?
It could, but if it had to stretch too far, it's more apt to possibly just fall and come back down. Yeah.
That's what I hope it does.
Yeah. Otherwise, make it.
Make it
just make it come back down.
Well, that's what we had to do because it was growing out into the yard.
Right, needed to get it back. Otherwise it's going to get run over. Yeah.
Because otherwise a
lawnmower's going to get it.
Although we could have put it in these bushes out back, it'd have thrived forever.
We know that. Yeah, we know they won't get pruned.
They won't get pruned. The cucumber could have grew all in there. We're talking about a set of bushes, folks, just outside our window, where we used back in the day, 5-6 weeks ago, we could actually see the runway.
Yeah.
Okay. Now it's like we're in Sherwood
Forest.
Forest.
2.5 foot sprouts out of the top of them.
I expect to see Tarzan come through any moment.
Swinging through.
Any moment. So it is we said last week that the rainy season was here.
Yeah, there's the desert sands, desert dust is keeping us dry.
Because it was supposed to, yesterday they said there's a 45% chance of rain.
It rained at my house.
Not a drop at my house.
It rained. It rained at my house. Rained very well, as far as I could tell. There was puddles. I think it might have rained shortly before I got home. So, 5:30ish, maybe 6 o'clock.
But it was a good Florida rain because I was going to a meeting of the Litter Task Force yesterday at 2 o'clock meeting, and I'm coming down 25th Avenue from 326.
Okay.
And I cross over Bonnie Heath, and I'm going towards 40.
Right.
Cross over Bonnie Heath, perfectly dry, sun's out and everything. But you could see up at 40, the
raining.
road was shiny.
Yeah.
And lights were on everybody's car. And you got about to
raining.
3rd Street, and the wall of rain was right there at 3rd. 50 feet before 3rd, perfectly dry.
Yep.
You got to 3rd, wall of rain. So I drove across 40. You get to McPherson Complex, about halfway through the McPherson Complex.
Dry.
Perfectly dry.
Yeah. It's dry.
Typical Florida rain.
That's it.
One cloud had a bunch of rain in it.
And it blew through. Well, that was it at work. There was a couple times we're looking, go, ooh, that's getting ugly. Watch out. We had a little pitter patter of rain for a few minutes, and it stopped. It went around us. A little later on, a couple hours later, ooh, it's gonna get us again. Look out! You better hurry up, or you're gonna get to lunch. So and nothing happened.
Nothing. But it rained at your house because there were puddles. So.
Right, there were puddles. Yeah, there were puddles. So it was like, okay.
So what you were seeing was when you were seeing it, it was raining at your house.
It may have been, it may have been raining in my house, or it was raining over in like the Wildwood area, or the Pedro maybe. So it.
But that's Florida. It can rain 30 feet from you, and you can be perfectly dry.
Yep. Well, that's it. 40% chance of rain. Just decides how big the crowd is that you're going to hang out in.
That's
4 in 10 people going to get wet today or whatever
that's all it is. Let's go to the phone lines. Good morning. You're on with Master Gardener, Carol Ann Baldwin.
Good morning, guys.
Morning, Sonny.
It's Sonny. I'm still calling about the bush I called for about a month ago. It has half has got leaves on it, and the other half is all like stubs. And
right.
I said it had all kinds of little growth coming out at the ends.
Right.
Well, I still only have the little growth coming out at the ends.
Oh.
Now, this is the plant that has a palm growing out of
the middle of it. Right,
right. Just to cut it.
Yeah.
So I've been cutting it, and I put down some Miracle Grow, stuff like that.
Okay.
And it's not improving.
Well, a lot of times things, I know you called it, it's been several weeks. Sometimes things just take a while. I mean, it's, we haven't been getting really the good rains yet. The season's just now starting because the rainwater's always better than what comes out of the tap.
Yeah.
But, I mean, a little extra, maybe a little bit of extra water for it. You gave it some fertilizer. I'd wait per the directions on the packaging to do more just because we should be coming into the rainy season and we don't want to over fertilize because the plants just can't take it up quite quickly enough before it washes away.
Well, I've been watering it. My house, I have one outdoor faucet that's before the water softener and filter. So I'm getting the water that the county gives it.
Right, right.
And I put that on there. Now, in the opposite corner, I have the same plant, and that's doing just fine.
That one's, yeah.
And on the ends of the leaves, it's a little white near the ends of the leaves. It's pretty plant.
Right.
And it's like that all year round, this plant. And then the other one that I'm talking about is like half growth and half little stubs hanging out, and each one of the little stubs has this, looks like it wants to be leaves growing there, but just nothing happening there other than the little green stubs.
Just something that has not finished forming a full leaf. Just one quick question to think about. I know we're getting ready. We got time coming up here. Any use of Roundup near that one?
I think I did at one time.
And there might be a little stunting from that, but I'll have to look into that a little further and find out because we don't know the name of the plant.
No, I don't. But that's why I said the one sister plant to it on the other side has a little white on the edges of the leaves.
Oh, okay.
But it's basically a green plant.
Just a green shrub. Might be a liguster, might be a Jack Frost.
We're up against a break. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Sorry. Sonny, thanks for the call. We'll be right back on Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin in the garden after this timeout.
QC Kinetics patient Robert Patterson, a veteran and business owner, struggled at work and in the gym with chronic agonizing shoulder pain.
Those injuries just continue to nag, and if you don't treat them, they just get worse. And I just kind of abused my body for a long time, and it finally had said enough is enough.
That's okay, because QC Kinetics tells your pain, hey, enough is enough. Their regenerative treatments bring you relief by helping restore and repair damaged tissue with no drugs, no downtime, and best of all, no surgery.
I was able to exceed the goals that I had previously attained in the gym. It was absolutely worth its weight in gold, so I could continue to live life without limitation.
Ready to get lasting relief from your joint pain? Call QC Kinetics to learn more about how natural biologic treatments can get you lasting results. Call now. It's a free consultation.
352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics. 352-400-4550.
Hello, I'm Mark Sears with Regency Printing. With over 10 years in the printing business, I know you'll find Regency Printing the place for all your local printing needs. Plus, I have fax services, mailbox rentals, notary service, U.S. mail, pack and ship, all at one convenient location, 2375 Northeast 25th Avenue. Just look for the yellow signs. Regency Printing, 789-6683. That's 789-6683. Regency Printing.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hi, this is Becky at Hello Gorgeous Salon. It's time to get that new look started. Let's get rid of those sun-damaged ends and faded out color and get into something rich and vibrant. Humidity is not your hair's friend. It causes your hair to capture moisture and leaves it looking dry and unhealthy. Hello Gorgeous is a certified Brazilian blowout salon. We can tame those locks, leaving your hair healthy and shiny with a Brazilian smoothing treatment. So let us help you make a great first impression. Call us today to set your appointment at Hello Gorgeous. Our number is 352-351-5358. Again, that's 352-351-5358. And don't forget, we also do men and children's cuts too. 351-5358. Hello Gorgeous is conveniently located in the heart of downtown Ocala. So call today and set up your appointment at Hello Gorgeous Salon at 351-5358. That's 351-5358.
Hello, gorgeous.
Shamrock Security Systems, 629-3223. Shamrock Security Systems is located here in Ocala, Florida. Shamrock Security Systems is a top-rated alarm company offering 24/7 monitoring, video surveillance, fire and flood protection. You'll sleep a little better once the job is done. Shamrock Security Systems for over 31 years. 629-3223. Get a 100% free quote from Shamrock Security. 629-3223.
Now you've done it. Have you lost your mind?
That's right. It's In the Garden with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. She's taking your phone calls about your plants, your trees, your shrubs, your gardens, your flower beds, anything that grows in dirt or water. She can take your questions, and if she doesn't know the answer, she'll tell you this. I'll look that up and get back to you.
Yeah. I do, one thing to parallel going with Sonny's question, I had a customer come in the store the other day, yesterday as a matter of fact, and she's got a East Palatka holly. And in the development she lives in, they planted a lot of East Palatka hollies, and they're somewhere between 15, 17, 18 years old, and and none of them in the community are doing exceptionally well. And it's going through, and as I had asked Sonny, has anybody used Roundup nearby, I'm just throwing it. This is just a thought for you, Sonny. No real reason to have to call back, but weed control, what we use on our lawns. I said about the only thing I could trace it back, because hers was not over mulched. It was not over, pruned. It was starting to get a little age to it, but 17 years isn't an extremely old tree. But if we're using products like weed and feeds, we use the yard service or whatever, and if the grass comes up either near to the trunk of that tree or at least up underneath that drip line and such, and those weed and feeds keep getting used over top of that root system,
dead.
The tree roots can take up that herbicide, because what is a tree but a broadleaf weed? If it's not where you want it, it's very large. And so it doesn't kill it overnight, but over a course of time, 10, 15, 20 years, it's possible that it's beginning to decline because of that. I don't know if there's any way to find that out for sure, but unless you know that, yes, you've had somebody come through and run, twice a year, that you've got somebody putting the weed and feed down, and maybe sometime in the middle of the season too, somebody's running around there spraying more of the weed killers that are, they're fine for on the grass, because the grass, it's a selective herbicide after broadleaf weeds. Well, trees and shrubs are nothing more but very large broadleaf weeds. And so that may be a thought. With her, what I recommended was, and she was thinking that might be part of it. Something like the natural fertilizers, like a Milorganite style, where it's, product of the solid waste industry. There's a Florida Natural, the Milorganite. I don't know if you can find Milorganite in Florida anymore, just because of manufacturing and shipping costs, that they're probably keeping that further up. But we now have, we have an answer to that. We have the Florida Natural, which comes out of West Palm, so a lot closer travel cost. But that can be used on the lawn, on the landscape, anything but your vegetable garden. I wouldn't be using it on my edibles, but,
Nah.
I think they say you can, but no, not me. But, something like that may help to at least improve that soil in that area, improve some of those microbes that are going on down underground, and just, watching it.
Well, I think I'm a firm believer in that's what did in that flower bed where the garden is now.
Right.
What did in all those bushes, because there was a group of shrubs that were just dead sticks and everything.
Right.
And I'm a firm believer that over time, as they would brush kill the woods and the retention pond directly behind my house, the overspray would get in the atmosphere, and the only bushes at that thing that was exposed to where overspray could land is that one side
area.
Of bushes.
Right. Yeah. And that's it. Overspray can carry, I want to say it's like 60 feet.
And that's about the distance.
So it's quite, because we usually are using a fairly fine droplet, when that's going
and
out.
they sometimes will come and spray the bottom of the ditches, because it's their water runoff ditches, to keep them so they don't grass up and weed up, so the water flows.
Get plugged up.
And that's literally from the bottom of that ditch to the side of my house is 25 feet, 20 feet.
Right. And so, any of those kind of things that over time, it builds up. It's not necessarily overnight, but over time.
Yeah, and those bushes have been there since the house was built.
Right.
House was built in 1999, 2000.
Right.
So, and they were so dead in that Archer-filled dirt and everything, that Susan plucked them out of the root system and all, wasn't holding on to anything.
Right. And I think, weren't we saying too that they did sort of look like the same pot that they were planted in originally, they were growing.
Yeah, they were like
so it was another one of those things of improper planting methods. But that's why it's always, if you can do it yourself, if not, have somebody reliable and just ask them to work the roots
because
out.
that was whoever had done the
original landscaping on the home.
Just dug a hole this big.
Well, that's it. They run the auger.
Run
the auger. It fluffies up that soil. Pull it out of the pot. Throw it in the ground. Well, if it was already beginning to curl in the pot, guess what? That's all it's going to do.
We got to take a break. We'll be back more with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin after this timeout. You're listening to Ocala Talks on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. This is WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
KLSA Radio News with Lance Pry.
The stock market sell-off deepened Monday with the Standard & Poor's 500 entering a bear market. Faced with rising chances of a Federal Reserve rate hike, investors broadly unloaded risk. The Standard & Poor's 500 fell 3.9%. as 495 of its 500 components ended the day lower. The declines left the United States benchmark down more than 20% from its January record. More than 125 million Americans were under heat warnings and advisories overnight as a dangerous heat wave that began in the Southwest heads into central and southern United States. The National Weather Service is warning that a dangerous combination of heat and humidity will affect the majority of the lower 48 states before the week is over. And there's a few signs the heat will not go away, as the first official day of summer is in 1 week. It is Flag Day in the United States. USA Radio News.
Hey everyone, this is Mike.
And this is Brian with Fellowship Home Loans. For years now, we've helped thousands of families live the dream of home ownership. And it's always great to hear from them.
How willing they were to work with me, where everybody else just wanted to slam the door in my face. Second thing was just how quick and easy it was to go with Fellowship, because they really put it together quick for me.
At Fellowship Home Loans, we don't have clients. We have friends and family.
I recommend many people. I have my cousin, I have a friend at work. I have, there's a lot of people who really need someone like Fellowship Home Loan.
We are here to help. No pressure guaranteed. 800-535-2779. 800-535-2779.
I appreciate how quick and easy it was to work with Fellowship Home Loans. What a pleasant experience it was. They really put it together quick for me.
Fellowship Home Loans.
Welcome home.
Intercontinental Capital Group, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender, MLS number 60134.
Relief factors going to lower or eliminate.
Hey folks, that gigantic 70th anniversary celebration at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens is still rolling along. This week, the super deal is on azaleas. This week, the world's best azaleas are a genuine super value. These beauties are just $7 each when you buy 10 or more. And here's the price on yellow knockout roses you may not believe. Gorgeous yellow knockout roses, regularly $22.99. They're half price, just $11.50 each. And then there's the fruit sale, where practically everything is buy one, get one free, starting with blueberries, all the way up to fig and banana and olive and chestnut, passion fruit, and many more. All on BOGO this week at Bob Wine's. Come celebrate with us daily till 4:30, Saturdays till 3. Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens and Nursery, Southeast 38th Street in Ocala, keeping Ocala in bloom for 70 years.
On this episode of What Not to Do, brought to you by
Mike Scott Plumbing. If water runs through it, we do it.
I thought I told you to call Mike Scott Plumbing to get this leak fixed.
I did call the plumbers. They were just here.
Let me get this straight. You're telling me Mike Scott Plumbing was just here?
Well, not exactly.
Well, then who exactly was here?
You know, the other plumbers. They were having a sale.
Is that why there's duct tape on my toilet?
Wait, I don't see any, that duct tape. Well, at least it matches the grout color.
There's a reason we only call Mike Scott Plumbing. They're on time, every time. They don't charge extra for nights, weekends, or holidays. And most importantly, and I need you to pay attention on this part, they actually fix it.
Okay, so you want me to try to fix it?
Yes, I do. By calling Mike Scott Plumbing, like you should have done in the first place.
Yes, dear. What's the number again?
You really should know this by heart. 866-314-4443.
Got it. 866-314-4443.
On next week's episode of What Not to Do.
Seriously? A helicopter?
Each morning, we wake up thankful to live in a free nation with liberty and justice for all. But sometimes those liberties can be put in jeopardy, and you may have questions about what to do or who to call. Let Doc Blanchard of Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland help you find the answers. Attorneys at law since 1974 and located in downtown Ocala. If you have legal issues, don't go it alone. Call 352-732-7218. Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland, helping protect your liberties every day.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY only $4.99. Plus DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
right, it's Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin giving you her advice on what you can do, how to grow anything in your yard, your potted plants, your bushes, your trees, except for the bushes here because we can't get those trimmed. I'm almost tempted to say, can we just pull a airplane right up to the window? One of the prop planes right up to the window, please. It'd take care of it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, probably cut big gouges and everything, bust the window, but the bush should be trimmed.
It'd be trimmed. I need a new roof, new soffit.
And now, we joke and everything, but these things are out of control and they're growing.
And they grow, they grow so quickly.
That can't be good for the bush.
Well, I mean, it's not. If you were to allow the bush to grow to its full height, that's the thing. But when you keep letting it grow like that, and then you're cutting off, and you're going to come back because you see there's little tiny sprouts. And if you were going to let them grow to be 6 or 8 feet, that's fine. But these are being maintained at 3.5 feet there, or 3 feet, and it needs a regular. Here, oh yeah, we got a good 2.5 foot. Yeah,
he's 6 foot, 6.5 foot tall.
Yeah, we got a good 2.5 foot tall sprout. A few of them down the line, and some others. And I mean, it's just in order to get some energy back into the rest of it, they need to be.
If I leave here at 11 o'clock and the lawnmower crew is gone. Somebody's out of a job. That's all I know. That's all I know.
She threatened them, but that's
all I know.
Well, you give them a break. They started pruning out front last week.
Do you have your sticks in the truck?
My sticks, yeah.
So you should have took a stick and threatened them with it. I will Tiger Woods you with this 3-iron if you don't get this thing cut.
Try not to get arrested.
Yeah, that's it.
What are you in here for? Murder. What are you in here for? Murder. What are you in here for? I got angry with a guy that wouldn't cut the bushes.
Wouldn't trim the shrubs, yeah. No, and right now, we're kind of maintaining. At this time of year, it's hot. It's we're not doing a whole lot of planting just because we are hot. Rainy season's coming on, so we're not fertilizing, really, except with something that would be a little more of the organic or the iron sources, things like that, not your nitrogen sources. So right now it's going through and maintaining, so giving these a good trim, just back to where they ought to be, and just coming across and we're not pruning azaleas right now. You might want to get your gardenias trimmed up a little bit before they try to grow, and then you want to get some size back down on them. So, give them all a little shot.
Good morning, Sonny. You're back on with Carol Ann Baldwin.
All right. Good morning, Tom.
Morning.
Carol Ann, you mentioned the fact that you use the weed and feed, and it can affect the plants that are like trees.
Right.
Well, I do notice the crepe myrtle trees that I have, the blooms are very sparse this year.
Okay.
So I'm from what you said earlier, I'm saying, could that be possibly affecting my the crepe myrtle trees, this weed and seed stuff?
They could be, yes. If we use those weed controls, that's why a lot of people do the mulch rings.
Thanks for the call, Sonny.
They do the mulch rings around trees that are out in the lawn in order to keep the weed control products away from the root zones of those trees. And also the guy with the weed whacker. We don't need him running around the trees either.
Kill some
They'll ring them. They'll ring them. They don't necessarily they don't do it on purpose, but carelessness happens.
Put a guard on that thing.
Yeah. But use the guard. But if we can, if we mulch areas around our trees and coming out, and you have to come out a good ways, really, in order to.
What is a good rule of thumb to come out? Is it a foot?
I would be saying about half, at least half the drip line.
Okay.
So if you've got and I mean, some trees like our big oak trees automatically do that. Usually there's not a whole lot growing underneath those big oak trees all the way out to that drip line.
My two oak trees, if you get underneath the canopy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice and cool.
And we keep the leaves raked up. Yep. It's just dirt.
Yeah.
And the dogs love it because that's where they go out and lay. Is in the dirt with the roots.
Yep.
I'm like, how's he laying on that root comfortable? And then I realize he's laying on the dirt.
He's laying on the dirt, and he's just using the root for a pillow.
Right.
That's, dogs can get comfortable anywhere. Same way with cats. We've all seen the videos. We've all seen the pictures
Hanging
of them.
over upside down.
Yeah, upside down on the sofa. Yeah, with their head. Yeah, it's like, really?
But yeah, underneath the canopy of those two big oak trees in our backyard.
Yes. Oh yeah, there's nothing growing there, and that's but so just as a word of caution, if you're doing this and you're finding that trees or shrubs or things like that are in areas that have turf, and you're using a weed and feed type product, that it could be, even as a granular, because it goes in through the root system, could be affecting those plants. So if you're seeing some stunting or anything like that, less flowering, less bloom, shortening of the age of those plants, look at that. Look and see what your practices are on those, and possibly back off or change up what you're.
Now, does the weed and feed, when you read the directions on the back of the bag and everything, will it tell you to create a buffer zone and everything? Does it warn you that this could happen?
It tells you, I'm pretty sure, not to use them in flower beds. But that's also, you don't need that high nitrogen that they're usually doing anyway. I'd have to actually flip a bag and read and see what the precautionary. I know one of the big name brand manufacturers of lawn fertilizers and other garden chemicals several years ago had come up with an alternative to the atrazine in their weed and feed product. And come to find out, they had a very large lawsuit that it was killing trees. Rather quickly, my understanding is that it was being used underneath oak trees, and next thing you know, these oak trees were dying. And that product's no longer on the market. They went back to atrazine, and probably only one person was fired, because you got to find a scapegoat for whoever was either falsifying EPA records or
whatever
like
they were doing to get around.
Whatever they were doing. They were the same ones that had an issue with their bird seed that they brought on the market and were killing birds.
And birds were dying.
Yeah, because they were using a pesticide in it.
Right, birds were dying.
Birds were dying, yeah. So,
which, if it was seagulls, I'm okay with.
Yeah, well, but even then, we got it,
You ever had one poop on you?
They say that's supposed to be good luck, but
I
try. I don't like seagulls just because they're very aggressive.
Yeah, they
one person feeds them a French fry, and
they will come get all your food.
Yeah. It's like,
don't open a bag of popcorn around.
Yeah, no.
By the way, before you leave today, I'll tell you a popcorn hack I found out on the internet.
Okay.
What's the worst thing about a bag of popcorn? The unpopped kernels.
Oh yeah.
I found a way to get rid of them.
Oh yeah. I pop my own popcorn. I got one of these. I have one of the Whirly Pops. It's a manual operated popcorn popper. Wow. Best popcorn in the whole wide world.
And it's the one where
you turn the crank on it. It sits on your stuff, and it stirs that popcorn up, and I can pop. Well, the other day, I'm ashamed of myself. I had 2 unpopped kernels. I usually pop every single kernel on it. Yeah.
Microwave bags, you don't do that.
Yeah, no, microwave is it's like the worst on popping popcorn,
or
the popping a percentage of your kernels.
When you want the popcorn in 90 seconds, it's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, see, now even with microwave popcorn, which I don't buy it because I'll pop my own. I set the timer at, like, I know this has nothing to do with gardening, but popcorn is a gardening item.
It is.
I set that timer for like 5 minutes, and I'll wait. I don't walk away. I don't walk out of the kitchen when I cook.
Right. No, because that's how fires start.
That's how fires happen, and that's how you burn your stuff or boil something over, because you're always going to forget something. So I hang out there with the microwave when I do that and listen till that popcorn actually, till the kernels slow down on the popping.
The other night I did the microwave, and I'm on the other side of the kitchen, in the kitchen.
Right.
And I got into an article I was reading, and so I didn't literally hear the bag pop. And then it said sensor error when it went off. So I was like, oh, it didn't finish popping. Black.
Oh.
Because I ran it through another popcorn cycle.
Oh.
In the garbage. And there's not a worse smell than burnt popcorn.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, so, I mean, because that's, well, I don't know, microwaving fish.
And people don't realize popcorn is actual corn.
It is a variety of corn. It is, and you can grow it.
Yes.
It's not something that only Jolly Time or Orville Redenbacher can grow. You can grow your own popcorn. It's just, if you grow other corn, do not plant them at the same time, and or they need to be, I forget the spacing. I'd have to look it up how far away, but I would probably like 1 season plant popcorn, 1 season plant sweet corn, because if corn is one of those kind of things that when cross-pollination occurs, it affects this year's crop. Stuff like squash, it'll affect the seed for next year, but it won't affect your fruit today. But your corn, because it's wind pollinated, it will spread to the others. So I would not plant them at the same time, unless your sweet corn has a much later way different tasseling time that pollination, so that you don't get cross pollination.
You can't pop sweet corn, by the way.
No,
folks.
you can't pop sweet
corn. No matter how much you dry it out or how hard the kernels get, it ain't popping.
It's not going to pop.
Popcorn pops because of the water inside
the moisture inside
kernel.
that kernel. That's it.
Dries out, pops it open.
Yep. And when we apply heat to it, it expands that and pops the kernel.
It open. Yep.
It's really cool. And it's a really fantastic snack.
Remember,
because you can eat so much of it with like almost no calories, and if you don't fill it full of butter,
And now you got air poppers and microwaves
and
everything.
well, mine does use oil.
But remember, I remember when I was a kid, there was a skillet on the stove, some Wesson cooking oil, and you had a big jar of kernels.
Well, mine are in it. Mine are in an empty, obviously empty peanut butter jar.
Right.
But now it's a popcorn jar, and I pour my kernels in, and I pour my oil, and that way I just take my measure scoop and scoop it out, throw it into the whirly pop, and I've got popcorn in probably almost as quickly as you would out of a microwave.
You know what the best popcorn ever was?
Movie theater popcorn.
Jiffy Pop.
Jiffy Pop, yeah. Jiffy Pop popcorn.
Jiffy Pop on the stove. Oh, it was
and
the
see,
greatest.
it's Jolly Time, I guess, is the unpopped kernels that I buy. That
But Jiffy Pop popcorn, you take that
and little aluminum
pan,
and poof, 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 poof. And that's that same kind of thing. It's until you begin to hear the kernels slow down, and then you turn the heat off.
Right. Somebody wants to talk popcorn, I think. Good morning. You're on Ocala Talks with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin in the garden.
Good morning. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Hugh.
Okay, popcorn or corn is my favorite vegetable.
Yeah.
And then I always wondered, how did they develop popcorn out of corn? I mean, was that accidentally happen, or how did that ever happen?
You know what? I'm not sure how that, because you figure what we have is sweet corn. That's the hybrid. Because all the corns before were meal corns. They really weren't a table variety when maize was done. It was more for the grain, for the hominy where it was processed, or cornmeal where breads were made. So I mean that might take a little research. And I see Tom sitting there ticking away on the phone over here to see. He's probably doing some Google. A little Google search on it, but
it probably happened accidentally. All of a sudden the guy says, "Hey, we got popcorn."
And it could be that when they were roasting this particular corn, and it may be a product of a, because it's not sweet. It's a more of a, it's not savory. It's bland.
It is bland.
On its own. Yeah. So it probably did come from like a roasting or a meal type corn. Here we go.
It started as a wild grass called tessonite, or teosinte, Teosinte, and it is from southwestern Mexico.
Okay.
It was cultivated as a domesticated crop around 9,000 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And it was passed up through the tribes, and early popcorn probably resembled parched corn, which is made by cooking dried kernels, often in a frying pan. The fluffy popcorn we know today is in part the result of thousands of years of careful cultivation of a few different strains of corn by early Indian tribes.
I was going to say, so they hybridized. They kept the seed from the ones that did the best on that popping, so they made snack food back then.
Right, 9,000 years ago.
9,000
they traced
years
it archaeologically back to
9,000
years
years ago
in Mexico.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
See, I kind of favor the bag popcorn in the microwave because I'm, I guess, a little bit lazy and I don't like making a mess. But not too long ago, one time I accidentally put the wrong setting on and I gave my smoke detectors a workout.
Yeah. So you've pulled a Tom.
We've all done it. Thanks for the call, Hugh.
Thanks, Hugh.
Okay,
yeah.
Take care, guys.
Yep.
We've all done it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, everybody's burnt stuff in the microwave, especially when the microwaves were new. And we really didn't understand how well they worked.
I remember the first one my dad brought home. My mom wouldn't use it. She refused to use it. She thought it was going to give her cancer or something like that.
Right.
She wouldn't use
it.
I
remember one of the first microwaves my parents got. Yeah, had the dial. It was like I was the one tasked with figure out how this works for us.
Weighed about 60 pounds.
Oh yeah, it was huge and massive and I think the first thing I did was there was a recipe book that came with it, and I made cookies.
Well, there you go.
It was like a pecan sandy because they didn't need to brown.
I used to love because you could get a small round Tupperware bowl.
Right.
And you could crack an egg in it, and it made the egg look like the same egg that came on the Egg McMuffin.
Right. Yep.
As a kid, I thought it was cool.
That was pretty neat. Yep.
But yeah, people don't realize though that popcorn is actually a grown corn.
It is.
It's actually a very big cash crop.
It is. I mean, when you've got name brands that advertise on television, and and ththings like that, and
then you got
that
all
movie
that grows
theater,
in the movie theater,
all the movie theater popcorns and things like that, and then the flavored oils and just the flavored salts. And
if you wanted to, you could put 2 or 3 rows of popcorn in your garden here. They would
grow
grow fine in Florida.
They will. That you can grow it. Yeah, as far as I know, you can grow the popcorn here in Florida. Again, like I said, just don't want to plant it when other corns are being planted. And you do grow corn fairly close together because it does take air pollination. Because every one of those silks that you see in an ear of corn is a kernel.
Really?
And yes, every one of those is attached to a kernel. And so wind pollination, when that tassel, those pollens fall down into that little tip, and that's how they get on every one of those silks.
There's so much silk. Every kernel on that cob is attached to one of those silks.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I
learned something today.
and I've seen some very amusing at the Ag Center years ago. We would plant a nice bed of sweet corn, and could harvest usually that first week of July. And there were several of us who worked out in the garden whose birthdays were within that first 2 weeks of July. So we would have a cookout right there at the Ag Center, and we'd harvest our corn and didn't shuck it, but wrapped it, put it on the grill, and you got surprises many times when you opened those because not all of them had been properly pollinated. And one member, one of my mentors, Bill, rest his soul, he opened one day and on one of them, and he's ready. Oh, we're just excited, and it had 4 great big fat kernels. That was it. That was it. So it's like, okay, get another one, Bill, because we had a bunch of them on the grill. So he goes and he grabs another one, unwraps it, and this one only had 2. He wasn't batting real well, but on the third one he got a good one. So we had a few that did not get good pollination on there, and it happens, It's
Let me tell you, the best way to eat corn, in my opinion,
tip it right into the pot of boiling water.
You take the stick that you would put in the corn dog.
Oh yeah.
You just dip it in boiling grease.
Oh.
You deep fry it, and you hold it in that deep fryer for, I don't know, 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. Deep fried corn on the cob.
Never had that.
Man, what you talking about?
Never had that.
I like to eat corn on the cob, deep fried.
I like to take mine and.
You've never had fried corn on the cob?
I've never had fried corn on the cob. No.
You ain't been living right.
I guess not. I've never even heard of that. I mean, I love mine. I love mine slathered in butter to where it runs down my chin.
Matt Gibbs just walked in. Matt Gibbs, fried corn on the cob, pretty good.
I've never had that.
I disagree. Fried Oreos ain't that.
I wouldn't do that. No, just let me have my Oreos.
But let me tell you, fried corn on the cob, very good.
See, now I like to take mine, trim the ends, and wet it real good, roll it up in aluminum foil, and throw it on the grill. I don't want my corn charred, but I do like the steamed in. I like the steamed in the husk. Or you cheat, you trim it off, you wet them real good, throw them in the microwave for 4 minutes or whatever, and.
You put them in that. You put them in that tinfoil wrap though, with some butter and some onions, so it gives a little onion flavor in there too. Oh.
So I just like to do them just as they are, and
But
then just lots and lots of butter when I'm eating it to where it runs off my chin.
But that's the beauty of having a garden.
Yes.
That is one. That is, it's not. And Susan gets a bunch of gratification out of growing the garden.
Right. But eating the garden is just.
I mean, it for some reason.
They taste better.
It tastes better.
It does taste better. Well, and part of it is that it didn't travel very far.
Even
You're
when
getting
we go
ready
to farmer market and get something at the farmer's market.
And if it's a true farmer's market, it is grown locally, or at least within that. Yeah.
The guy that sells at the downtown market.
Okay. Yeah.
His farm is in Citra.
Right. So it hasn't had to come far. So it was able to ripen right there on the farm and be picked the night before. You figure he probably, if he's there on, because that's what, Saturday.
Yeah.
They're picking Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and packaging and having, maybe having to keep it cool, but
I got a white onion, probably 6 inches across.
Yeah.
Probably 4 or 5 inches deep. A white onion and 2 extra large bell peppers that were huge.
Right.
At the downtown market.
Yeah.
$3.
Sweet.
It really was.
Yeah.
I mean, you got 3 bell peppers that size at Publix would have been $10.
Oh yeah, especially today.
One of those white, big white sweet onions would have been $4 or $5.
$3. Yeah. Yep.
It was ridiculous. I got for $3 what could, and because it's now the drawback.
Fresh,
the drawback
is that
it's shelf
they don't
life.
keep. Yeah. you really do have to use them promptly, and that's where we go back to meal planning.
Because the shelf life of fresh grown vegetables.
Because they're not
less,
waxed.
Yeah,
they're not waxed. And that's
we find that with the cucumbers. When we bring the cucumbers in, they got a shelf life of about 72 hours is all they got.
Yeah.
After that, they're too soft.
Right, they start going. And if you're picking your produce, don't rinse it when you bring it in the house. Just rinse it right before you eat it, and that way it stays fresh. I know there's some different packaging you can purchase, at the stores or online that help to keep fresh produce fresh. Words are getting hard.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, words are getting hard. I personally have a couple little boxes. They call them berry boxes, but I can put my cut cucumber or cut bell pepper in and put that lid on and pop it back in the fridge, and it does keep it fresh much longer. Same thing with strawberries and things like that if I want to have them for fresh, I can put them in there, or even just keeping those in their box that they came in and only rinsing what I'm getting ready to use.
By the way, speaking of berries, my wood line, I walked down my wood line yesterday afternoon.
Oh, blackberries.
Full.
Nice.
Now I just have to make sure I get them before the neighborhood kids.
Yes, yeah.
Because the neighborhood kids, once they find them, once the neighborhood kids find them.
Oh, they're gone. Yeah,
they're
gone. Yeah,
you'll see like 6 bicycles thrown down in the grass.
Yep.
And you can hear them, but you won't see them.
Yeah.
They're in the wood line picking them.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I don't blame them, because when I was their age.
Yeah, you're doing the same thing.
Mama would always say, going to get blackberries, huh? And I was always confused how she knew.
Well.
But it was July, and I had on long pants and long sleeve shirt.
There you go.
She was like, going to get blackberries, huh?
Aren't you? Yeah. That's for sure.
Fresh picked blackberries.
Oh yeah.
Nothing better.
And also rinse them off, throw them in a bowl, throw a little milk.
Wild blackberries are better.
Yeah. Throw a little milk and sugar on them.
I've tried to grow blackberries. Wild blackberries, much better.
They
much
just
better. Much better. Caroline, where can people find you?
They can find me down there at Lowe's and Lady Lake, or the In the Garden Facebook group page.
Which I finally joined, by the way.
You finally did, yes.
And you accepted me. I don't know why you would do that.
Well,
I would
because I know who
it.
you are. Yeah, I know who you are.
I would not have done it. I would have said no. But matter of fact, I run 3 different pages. I've denied myself access to them. Go see it, the Lowe's in Lady Lake, or In the Garden Facebook
group page.
You got to answer like one question.
Like one question, yeah, and answer it right.
Yeah, please.
Answer it right.
There is a right and wrong answer, so don't be a funny guy.
Yeah.
Answer it right.
Yeah, there's 2 on there that are probably going to get the,
Yeah. Caroline, thanks for joining us today.
Oh, my pleasure.
Talk to you next Tuesday.
Next week.
Coming up next, it's Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Auto Repair with Personal Care, right here on Ocala Talks, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. WOCA, The Source.
Passing from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
News with Lance Pry.
Nearly 40% of law enforcement agencies, including the NYPD and Los Angeles Police Department, failed to report their 2021 crime data to the FBI. That will result in more difficulty tracking crime in America. A string of troubling inflation reports in recent days is likely to lead Federal Reserve officials to consider surprising markets with a larger than expected 0.75 percentage point interest rate increase at their meeting this week. Before officials began their pre-meeting quiet period on June 4th, they had signaled that they were prepared to raise interest rates about a half percentage point, and then again in July. With the markets deteriorating faster than expected, tougher decisions may come sooner than later. President Clinton's Treasury Secretary, Lawrence Summers, on Bloomberg.
It's pretty clear that peak inflation theory, like transitory inflation theory, is kind of wrong.
USA Radio News.
Paid for by government.com.
Have you heard? The United States Mint has issued the Morgan Silver Dollar for the first time in 100 years. Not only that, but they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history.